Okay, hi everyone. Can you guys hear me and see me? Apologies for the delay. There was a bit of technical issues. But let me know if you guys can hear me and see me. Okay, seems like it's all okay. Let's get started. So welcome to today's live analysis session. So for today's session, we're just going to be looking at a couple of charts. So feel free to let me know if there are any charts that you guys would like me to go through, and I'll be sure to go through those as well. So we'll go through a couple of majors, commodities as well. Just feel free to let me know what you are looking for. Okay, so I'm Melanie, and I will be your presenter for today. So, a disclaimer: any information contained in this webinar should not be construed as advice and as um, educational material only. Okay, so make sure that you do your own due diligence before trading. Okay, so I'm Melanie and I'm an investment analyst from Everest Fortune Group, who are finalists for 2019 to 2021 Best FX and Equity Research. Okay, so some key news events for this week. I won't go super in depth, but just for your reference, okay? This is from forexfactory.com. So we're just mainly looking at some, excuse me, some high impact events for this week. Okay, so um we have claimant count change on um 14th November, which is tomorrow. And then Wednesday, we have core CPI from the US, wage price index from Oz, um, industrial production year on year from China, and CPI from UK as well. Okay, and then on Thursday, we will also have um, core PPI, retail sales, Empire State Manufacturing Index, as well as okay, so that's for the US, and then unemployment rate and employment change from Australia, as well as unemployment claims in the US and retail sales in the UK on Friday. Okay, so let's take a look at some charts now. I can see some of you guys have started requesting for stuff, which is great. So let's go through them now. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. Can you guys see my charts? Okay, should be all good. Okay, let's get started. DXY. Okay. So we're gonna start off with DXY first. So I like to start off by looking at the higher time frames so that we get an idea of where prices are headed towards, just the general idea. Okay, so on the weekly time frame, we have um kind of an uptrend, but it does look like price recently reversed a little bit. Okay, now let's look at daily time frame. Okay, and on our daily time frame, we can see that there is a general uptrend as well, but price is currently testing this area. Okay, so if we just really quickly go in and add our support and resistance levels, we would have our I think second resistance would be here. and first resistance down here, and first support here. Okay, and I can see that I can pull it up back to about here. Okay, so this would be my support resistance levels for on the daily time frame. So I can see price recently bounced off of my first support. Um, okay, it does look like it's recently reversed here as well. Okay, so it does look like it's heading downwards once again, but let's take a look at it closely on our 4-hour time frame instead. Okay, so on our 4-hour time frame, we don't have any trend lines or trend channels. Let's check. Okay, no, we don't have any trend lines or trend channels. Okay, um, and we can see prices are kind of ranging on our 4-hour time frame. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in with our support and resistance levels first. So these are purely graphical, only just purely based off of the charts by looking at where the swing highs and swing lows are. And after this, then we'll go in with our Fibonacci levels to kind of support these levels and see if we can identify any other levels, important levels that we missed out before. Okay, so here are my levels for now, and then I'm gonna go in with some Fibonacci levels. So first one I'm going in with is a projection. Okay, so for projection, we use these three levels, and you can see that there are no levels that line up over here. Okay, I'm just gonna go in with a retracement instead and see if there are any levels that line up. So for retracements, we use these 5 levels. Okay, and you can see that the 50% lines up nicely with my first resistance. And I'm actually gonna add another level here. And this is my intermediate support. Okay, so um, even though this 23.6 lines up nicely with my first support, right? It's actually not valid because price has already broken out of this level. Okay, so I'm just gonna remove that. And actually my 38.2 as well. So just my 50% here. Um, okay. Okay, if I look at it really closely, I see a 50% lining up there. Um, I see my 61.8 also lining up there. Okay, and okay, I think that's about it for the levels. So we will definitely see some resistance over here at our support because of this confluence area here. Okay. Um, and because prices are kind of ranging now, so we're not too sure whether it's gonna break out of this confluence area. So let's take a look at some indicators. Okay, so Ichimoku cloud price is moving within the cloud, so it's not really telling us anything. MACD is giving us a bullish signal. Let's take a look at RSI. Mm, okay, we see kind of this descending trend line on our RSI. Now let's take a look at EMA as well as SMA. Okay, so over here, um, if you see here, price is moving below the SMA and EMA, so it's giving us a bearish signal. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of my D. Uh, yeah, so we can expect prices to break below this level here and head down towards our first support. Okay, but we will see some resistance here at this level because of this confluence area. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at euro dollar. Okay, so on our euro dollar, on our weekly time frame, we have this ascending trend channel. Okay, now if we look at our daily time frame, mm, this is my first resistance. Uh, and then this is my second resistance. Okay, and then my first resistance would be perhaps here. Okay, and then my first support would be about here. Okay, now if we go in with some Fibonacci levels, you can see um okay, we can see these levels line up nicely, and actually I might pull back my first resistance. Yeah, okay. Okay, and then I can see that my first support is currently a overlap support because we have a swing low and a swing high testing this level here. Okay, so we can see it moving upwards, and we'll probably go in for a buy towards our first resistance. So now let's take a look at our 4-hour time frame. Okay, so first things first, we'll see if we have any trend lines or trend channels. Okay, we kind of have this ascending trend line here. So let's go in with some levels now. Here's my first support and my first resistance here, as well as my second resistance over here. Okay, now that that's done, we're gonna go in with our Fibonacci levels again. And you can see my, okay, no, none of these levels are valid because price has already broken them, except for the 38.2. Mm, okay, my 61.8 lines up with my first support. Okay, my 78.6 also lines up with my first resistance. Let's see. Okay, and my 38.2 lines up with my second resistance. Okay, so over here at our first support, once again, we have a confluence area here. Okay, so we can see that price has already bounced off of the first support and is currently heading towards our first resistance here. Okay, so let's go in with some indicators. So I like to use Ichimoku and MACD because at one glance you can see exactly what the signals are. So on a MACD, it's giving us bearish, whereas on our Ichimoku, it's giving us price moving above the cloud, so it's giving us a bullish signal. So I'm going to remove MACD because it doesn't support our analysis. Let's take a look at RSI. Okay, on RSI, we see this ascending trend line as well. Um, yeah, yeah, okay. So that's for euro dollar. Okay, now we are gonna go ahead and look at pound dollar. Okay, okay. So on a weekly time frame, once again, um, yeah, we have this ascending trend channel here. Okay, and then if we look at our daily time frame, right? Okay, we don't have any trend lines here. Yeah, or trend channels. So we're just gonna go ahead and add our support and resistance levels. So here's my second resistance. Here is my first resistance here at this overlap level, and then my support level just over here. Okay. So now we go in with our Fibonacci levels again. Okay, I have a 78.6 level over here. So I'm going to label this as a kind of like an intermediate support just for my own reference. And then from here to here is a my 38.2 retracement lines up with my second resistance. So remember, these tend to be areas more so than specific levels. So this is close enough. Okay. Okay, so we're seeing price bounce off of this intermediate support and heading towards our first resistance. Now, if we look at our 4-hour time frame, um, same thing, we're going to start off by looking for any trend channels. And I guess we kind of do have a trend channel here. Okay. Now let's go in with our support and resistance levels again. So this is my first support. And I'm going to try and pull it back as far as I can without cutting too many bodies of candlesticks so that I can see how significant this level is. And you can see here that we have swing lows as well as swing highs. So it's a overlap level, which is quite an important level to take note of. Okay, because that's where the bulls and bears have respected the area. Okay, this is our first resistance and then our second resistance over here. Okay. So going in with a retracement again, I have 38.2 here. Mm, okay, my 61.8 lines up with my first support. And then I'm going in with a projection. Let's see, no. Okay, no. Okay, you can see my 100% lines up nicely with my first support. Okay, so once again, because we have this confluence area here at this support level, right? So we can expect price to continue within this trend channel and also bounce up off of our first support as we're seeing now towards our first resistance. Okay, let's pull out some indicators to support this analysis. Price is moving below the Ichimoku cloud, and MACD is also giving us a bearish signal. So I'm gonna get rid of both. Let's see if RSI supports our analysis. Okay, RSI is giving us a ascending trend line again. Okay, and EMA and SMA. If you take a look, if I zoom in really closely, you can see price is moving above both of these indicators. So it's giving us a bullish signal. And also we see that price has recently, not price, but SMA and EMA have recently had a crossover, which is typically a signal that trend is about to change. So before this, we see that price has been dropping, right? There was a downtrend, and now that um they have crossed over each other, price is moving above both of these indicators. It's a sign that price is going to continue to rise. Okay. Okay, let me know if there are any other requests from you guys. Hi Ren, thanks for that. Okay. AUD and ZU. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this on the weekly time frame first, so that we get an idea of where prices are headed. Okay, okay, we does look like prices are kind of in this shape, yeah. Okay, so we could, mm, yeah, okay, it does look like a certain shape over here, right? The flag shape or whatever you call it. Because there are different names for that shape, but yeah. And then now if we're looking at it on the daily time frame, on our daily time frame, we don't have any specific trends, I think. It does look like prices are kind of ranging. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, no specific trend lines or anything like that. Let's go in with our support and resistance levels instead. Okay, so firstly, we have our resistance over here. Okay, this I'm just gonna label this as my first resistance, and then uh, let's see. Okay, I have a retracement level here. So this is actually called a reversed Nike tick. Okay, but price has already reversed off of our first resistance, so I'm gonna get rid of this. Let's see. Okay, price has reversed off of our first resistance, and it's currently over here, right? Currently reversed off this level. I'm gonna label this as our first support. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our 4-hour time frame. So first support here, and I can pull it back to this area here so that I can see that it's an overlap support level. And then over here, this is my first resistance. And maybe second resistance. Okay, I want my first resistance to be here at this swing low here. And then my second resistance may be just over here. Okay, now let's go in with Fibonacci levels. Okay, we see the 38.2. We see the 38.2 line up with my first resistance, and then yeah, that's about it actually. Um, okay, I'm gonna look for a retracement here as well. Can see my 50% lines up with my first support, and I actually don't like to have this 0 and 1 100%. I just like to look at the relevant levels. Okay, and then I can see that my 61.8 also kind of lines up with my first support, and yeah, so I'm gonna keep that. Okay. Okay, I think that's all the levels that we have. Let's go in with our indicators. So price is moving below the Ichimoku cloud, so I'm gonna move that. MACD is giving us a bullish signal. Okay. Mm, okay, RSI isn't really telling us much here, and price is moving above our SMA but below our EMA, but it does look like it's changing soon. So I think we can wait to see if price breaks above our EMA. That would be a clear sign that price will definitely move, will probably move above our first resistance, because our first resistance is also a overlap level along with this 38.2. So we could see some resistance here. So yeah. So once we see it break above our EMA, then it's upside confirmation that price will likely break our first resistance. But maybe to be safe, let's take a look at some more indicators first. Okay, let's take a look at stochastic. Okay, on stochastic, we actually have this hidden support level. Okay, because at these levels here, okay, we can see that price is making a lower low, but then on our stochastic, it's a support level. Okay, so this is also a bullish signal that prices might be able to shoot up above our first resistance. Like we already see it is shooting up now. Okay. Okay. Next we have dollar franc. Okay, so for dollar franc, let's take a look at our weekly time frame first. Okay, we see prices rising here, although there is a bit of a reversal. Let's take a look at our daily time frame, and we can see that um, our first resistance, we are able to pull it back until here, okay? And then second resistance is basically the next closest swing high. And our first resistance just here, okay? Our first support, sorry. Okay. And then we have this retracement level. Um, let's see which level lines up. My 50% lines up nicely with my first support. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep that. So we're expecting price to continue to rise towards our first resistance after bouncing off of our first support, as you can see here. So bringing that to our 4-hour time frame. Okay, I think this would be my first resistance. Okay, this is my second resistance, and first support maybe just here. Okay, now that we have that, let's go in with our Fibonacci levels again. Okay, my 61.8 lines up nicely, and okay, my 50% lines up with my first resistance. And if we look at our projections, okay, 61.8 lines up. So for projections, maybe just to recap, you're looking for this flash kind of shape, okay, like a lightning bolt. Oop, like a lightning bolt shape or flash shape. Okay? Yeah. Okay, I think that's all the levels that we have. Um okay, my 78.6 lines up as well with my first resistance. Okay. So we can see price currently testing this level, and we're not surprised because of all of the confluence in this area. Oh, okay. So firstly, our first resistance is an overlap as well with swing highs as well as swing lows, and it also has two Fibonacci levels. So we have this 50% level and 50% retracement as well as a 78.6% projection. So we have two confluence Fibonacci confluence levels lining up with our first resistance here, so we can see price testing it currently. Okay. Um In our previous analysis of the daily and weekly time frame, we saw price moving upwards. So our general advice is to follow the trend. Yeah, even though in this case it does seem like price is testing the level, but let's take a look at our indicators and see what they say. Okay, so because there are so many indicators out there for you to choose from, 50% will tell you that it's bearish and 50% will tell you that's a bullish signal. So it's important for you to just pick a couple of indicators that you know how to use and that you're confident using, um, and then yeah, and then see which one lines best with your analysis. So if you choose maybe four, as you can see here, um, for indicators to use, if you know majority of them support your analysis, then you're clearly on the right track. Okay, but if they don't, then maybe you can go in again and relook at your analysis. So here my Ichimoku doesn't tell us anything because it's moving within the cloud. On our MACD, it's giving us a bullish signal. RSI, okay, no, this is not a trend line. RSI isn't telling us much either, but here you can see that we have a trend line as well. Okay. Now, maybe I'll look at EMA and SMA as well, just to compare. And price recently crossed over each other, which could signal a change in direction. Okay, but as of right now, price is still moving above both the SMA as well as the EMA. If I zoom in really closely, you can see. So, yeah. Okay. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. I think that's about all the time we have for today to go through the charts. But yeah, I hope you guys found this helpful. Have a great rest of your week. Um, yeah, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Bye. Have a great week. Thanks, Yaya. See you guys.